All right. So we're recording now. Thank you so much for joining us on the SC for Ed Town Hall Meeting for Education. And obviously, you're running for District 18 in the House, Benjamin Smith. I'll just let you introduce yourself a little bit to give you a background and just where you're from and stuff.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, first, I'd like to thank SC for Ed for holding these virtual town halls during these uncertain times. My name is Benjamin Smith. I'm running for South Carolina House District 18. My main reason for running is I've gone to the polls for the past couple years. I've not had a choice in the general election. Just face the same name when I go to vote. So I wanted to give the constituents an option this year. I'm also tired of South Carolina being ranked in the 40s for education. Right now, I believe we're 44th. I believe that our leaders are failing us through that, and I would like to see us improve that. So I'm running basically on trying to improve our education, equality. Also, other issues that I'm looking at is I'm wanting to make our roads safer and just create a living wage in South Carolina. But my biggest passion is making our education better. So I do have several of my issues outlined on my website at smithforschouse18.com. And then also I can be emailed with any questions at smithforschouse18@gmail.com.
Perfect. And we do have Google Chat running. If anyone hops on here wants to ask a question, we'll add that to our list of questions to ask you. And this will, of course, be replayed and available for others on SC Fred to watch from now until the primary. And just to let everyone know, we did ask the current incumbent, who you're running against, to participate as well. Obviously, for whatever reason, not participating, but we're grateful to have you here. Still, in interest of people watching, we are trying to standardize these to 2 or 3 minutes per response on these questions, just as a heads up on that. And it's just 4 or 5 basic questions. And again, if anyone hops on with a question or anything like to add, please do. All right, but our first question here is, what is your opinion? You've already mentioned some of this, but what is your opinion of the state of public education in South Carolina today?
All right. Well, I that for being in 2020 and having had consistent leadership in South Carolina, we've had a Republican legislature, both houses, Republican governor. They've had control all of it since 2002, and we're ranked 44th, like I said earlier. So clearly something is not happening. I do believe that having a more diverse legislature would help our education system. We'd have more voices that could share life experiences and share what's going on, be able to have a solid voice representing everyday South Carolinians. So I do believe that the current leadership is failing education. And I do believe that if we elect a diverse legislature, we would be able to hear from all South Carolinians on how we can improve that.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And you kind of touched on some of these things in the next question, which is, what would your first steps be? Kind of your first steps if you got elected to improving education in South Carolina?
Absolutely. Well, first off, South Carolina is ranked really low as far as teacher pay. I do know that there was a bill introduced recently to raise the teacher pay in South
Mhm.
Carolina. However, it's not enough. I believe it puts us somewhere in the upper 30s as far as teacher pay in the states, but that still falls well below the national average. With that, a lot of teachers I've seen have been leaving the field or leaving South Carolina to go teach where they can get paid more. So we
Mhm.
do pay our teachers more in South Carolina, encourage them to stay, give them the resources that they need. Uh, they should receive a living wage, quite honestly. You can't teach and then have to work another job just to survive. You can't survive off of that. So it's what our teachers deserve and it's what our kids deserve.
Yes. And along with that, then, as far as a living wage, increasing teacher pay, um, what would you do to address the funding issue in public education? How would you, shall I word that right? Yeah, the funding. How would you address the shift in funding in public education?
Absolutely. So when it comes to funding, I do believe that we need to reach out to experts in the field to see what the best methods are for funding for that. I know there are several systems that are currently set in place to fund education. We'd want to make sure that those resources are being allocated properly and
Hmm.
that they're not being in any way. And then also any waste that's going on in Columbia. Recently, I saw that judges received a 35% increase in their pension with the vote. I believe it was last July. Oh, sorry, my battery's getting low. I believe it was last July that increase. So when you have judges, certain elected officials who are getting raises, whether it's in pay or in their pension, and huge raises, that's taking funds away that could be devoted towards the teachers, towards education, that is not receiving as much funding.
Okay. Speaking on this question now, in your opinion, what a successful accountability system for education in South Carolina look like? Excuse me.
Accountability? Sure. So I do know that we have certain testing qualifications in place. I'm afraid that sometimes it causes teachers to teach towards the test, which that does not create a learning environment. I do believe that we need to have guidelines in place, certain goals and to work towards, but I would want to avoid having it solely based off of tests. I believe that we needed to look at our results and see it kind of as a whole of the education and not just a test score. So as far as seeing if we've met those criteria, I would look at our graduation rates and then just the quality of education throughout K through 12.
Okay. Those are our simple four main questions that we have to relate to education. No one seems to have popped in with any additional questions. Is there anything related to education that's part of your platform I haven't touched on that you'd like to bring up?
Yes, sir. I would like to focus some of my, if I were to be elected, I would like to focus on improving early childhood literacy as well as STEM programs for K through 12. I want South Carolina to be a leader, not just in education, but with innovation as we move forward. We want our state to be really first in the country as far as leaders in technology, innovators, and we can do that if we have early childhood literacy. That'll improve the education for the child throughout the entire process. If they're going into third, fourth, and fifth grade and they're not up to the literacy level that they should be at, that's going to have a detriment to their entire education. And then for the STEM programming or the STEM courses, that will just help build them and prepare them for as they go out once they graduate.
Okay, that makes sense. See if I have any other questions for you at this time related to that. Is there anything in the e-learning you'd like to touch on immediately moving forward in that situation with the Accelerate Ed? Might be a question that some viewers would have, since that will be impacting us pretty soon.
Correct. So I haven't seen if we are going to be doing e-learning for the following semester, the following school year. Know that whatever type of e-learning that needs to be done through our school system, we want to make sure that everybody has access to Wi-Fi. Everybody has access to be able to access that learning.
Okay.
Thing that I'm afraid of with whether it's lower income families that don't have Wi-Fi, or people in rural areas that don't have access to that. So we need to make sure that everybody has the same access before we roll that out as a blanket.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you so much. That covers it. And thank you so much again for taking the time to talk with us, to share your thoughts on education. And again, if there's anything else to think of that you would like to share, this will be posted. Of course, share the link out as well with others once it's posted. And then people, I guess, can comment in the comment section. Perhaps it'll be a way to follow up with them if you have additional input you'd like to have at that time.
Thank you very much for reaching out to me. It's a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Benjamin Smith in District House 18. Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon.